Okay, so eto, nangyari na rin sa wakas ang, actually feeling ko nga too late the hero na itong si si Joe Rogan, eh, 'di ba? Kasi right now paggising ng ano, medyo madaling araw pa sa ano, sa Amerika. Okay, in a few hours they're gonna be waking up and today is their election day. Okay, so boboto na sila. And Joe Rogan's endorsement came late last night. Mga tanghali na yan, mga madaling basta late night na yon. So last day of election, last day before the election, sa kanya ah, kumbaga inamin yung kanyang what everybody thought naman na he would do eventually and hoping that he does, to endorse, finally endorse Donald Trump. Actually, si Joe Rogan through the years, eto yung kanyang tweet pala. Okay, so Joe Rogan, the great and powerful Elon Musk, kasi he did this. Actually, hindi niya binanggit dito sa ano, sa podcast niya with Elon Musk. So they recorded the podcast, uh, silang dalawa ni Elon Musk and, after uploading tsaka niya sinabi itong endorsement niya, 'di ba? So, if it wasn't for him, we'd be fucked. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. Okay, so um ito si Joe Rogan kasi more or less ano siya, actually liberal guy talaga siya. He had been a lifelong Democrat all his life. But if you follow American politics from the Obama era until now, the yung left and right nila, yung conservative to liberal to progressive, yung mga bearings have moved. So what used to be liberal before, some stands of liberalism back in 2010 are considered right wing or even far right na to some people at this point. And yung yung center masyado nang lumayo doon sa dati. Sinasabi yan ni na Bill Maher, nitong si Joe Rogan, and a lot of other former Democrats. Even Donald Trump's former Democrat allies right now. And Joe Rogan had been historically, I've been following Joe Rogan's podcast for many years now. And since Trump came to office, he had been a critic. He had been kumbaga, he's given him praise as well. And and even ano kini-criticize niya rin 'to si Trump na he makes jokes at Trump's expense. Sinasabihan niya ng mga minsan misinformed din siya kay Trump. Meron siya mga sinasabi na hindi naman totoo na nabalitaan niya sa Twitter or sa news, ganyan. But long story short, hindi talaga siya solid Trump guy. Until he, uh, kasi mas ano siya, libertarian siya, more or less. Libertarian liberal si Joe Rogan eh. And ang mga idol niya talaga, yung mga katulad ni na RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., yan. And then Tulsi Gabbard. Yun yung mga people na attracted si Joe Rogan politically. Okay? And ang nangyari dito kay Tulsi Gabbard specifically and RFK Jr., they have recently joined Donald Trump kasi they are anti-establishment. Yun ang lagi kong sinasabi dito. Siguro gawa tayo ng content about the deep state and kung ano ba yung establishment na sinasabi ko. Kasi as long as hindi mo naiintindihan yun, some people would find it weird that people support Donald Trump because of his character flaws. Diba? Yun naman lagi ko sinasabi eh. But once you understand that there is this huge machine that operates, that controls politics and basically everyday lives in America and all over the world, you would understand why people choose to back Donald Trump, who is an anti-establishment guy, together with his allies like Tulsi Gabbard and Elon Musk. Kasama siya, 'di ba? Kasi Elon Musk was a very napaka Democrat niya, and he had been the darling of the left because of his electric vehicles, 'di ba? He had been also the darling of the right kasi he's a very successful capitalist, 'di ba? But in terms of politics, he had always been a Democrat. He always voted Democrat until yung sinasabi ko ng drastic shift in politics and political ideology na nangyari sa Amerika. But we're gonna talk about that some other day. Okay, and like I said before, Donald Trump, yung team na binuo niya for this election, yung sinasabi nga nila MAGA Avengers eh. Gawa din tayo ng ng content tungkol dun sa MAGA Avengers. Si Tulsi Gabbard, si RFK Jr., si Elon Musk, si Vivek Ramaswamy, si JD Vance, yung vice president niya. And then sino pa ba? Sino pa pong MAGA Avengers? Actually, yun na lang muna. Si Joe Rogan, pwede mong isama yan eh. Actually, parang mga sub-Avengers sina Joe Rogan. sina Ron DeSantis siguro. Yun, yung sina Jordan Peterson, although he's not American. Anyway, balikan natin itong endorsement ni Joe Rogan kay Donald Trump. Okay? So, i-play natin yung specific part kasi itong si Elon Musk, ayan as you can see, 2 hours and 38 minutes yan. Gusto nyo panoorin natin yan pag mamaya pag nag-work ako, pwede natin panoorin yun eh. Play natin tong part na to. This is one of the reasons. They talked about a lot of things in this podcast. Okay? So, this is one of the reasons na naka-compel kay Joe Rogan to finally, kasi everybody thinks naman that he's a Trump guy. Trump even tried to force out an endorsement when he was there, 'di ba? Parang you are a Trump guy, you're not a Kamala guy, sabi ni Donald Trump. And Joe Rogan was resisting. Ibinalik niya nga no, your weave is going too far. Let's go back to tariffs. So, eto, panoorin natin tong part na to.
Of course, they're all going to hit Trump.
Yeah, well, anyway, obviously it was a mistake.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have done that. But I invite people to watch the
Walang
original
pasata.
source material, and I think a few jokes are fine. It's like, but it's like he shouldn't be it felt like he was the primary object of the roast.
yeah.
Which is that's not the whole point of the thing. Is it's a roast of the president, not a
Right.
roast of the audience.
The thing about it is like he's easy to
Nampas-
roast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then on top of that, Obama was like president without a primary.
Right.
We have to have a candidate that is
Yeah,
the
he's talking
least
about
liked
Kamala
vice
Harris here.
president of all time, the least popular vice president of all time, and then use gaslighting and the full force of the media machine to turn her into the future.
Yun, the
And
establishment.
and then
Establishment
she's
media.
gonna be change, even though she's the sitting vice president. And then on top of that, this idea of change when the Democrats have been in control for what, 12 of 16 years?
Right.
which is crazy. Like, this is the change.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I view this election as a turning point,
Yeah.
like a fork in the road of destiny that is incredibly important. I've not been politically active until this election, and the reason I've been politically active this election is because I think if we don't,
That's true kasi Elon became a major player in American politics and in global politics when he first expressed his interest in purchasing Twitter. Maybe we can go back when Elon, how and why he did that. Kasi that changed a lot of things. Not everything, but a lot of things. Kasi before Elon Musk got Twitter, um basically uh all social media companies are against Trump. They were against Trump. Trump was banned on Twitter, Trump was banned on Facebook and even YouTube, 'di ba? Tinanggalan mo ng social media talaga si Trump. And then kaya siya gumawa noong Truth Social niya, gumawa siya ng sarili niyang sarili niyang social media, which is not as big as Twitter, pero it was an alternative platform, 'di ba? He had no choice while etong sina Zuckerberg at saka yung mga former owners of Twitter, they lumabas naman yun dun sa Twitter files na pinaimbestigahan ni Elon Musk. Nagkaroon pa sila ng hearing sa Senate nila before, and it had proven that there had been collusion with the Biden government, with the Democrats, to suppress opposing views. Well, that's a little too simplistic. Pero the lean ng mga, kasi mga woke yung mga may-ari ng ng Twitter, ng Facebook and other social media platforms, 'di ba? So ayaw nila talaga kay Trump. Mga Silicon Valley elites itong mga ito. Okay, and itong si Mark Zuckerberg nga a few months ago admitted that they were basically told by the government, by the Democrats, to suppress information that doesn't go along with their agenda, especially during the pandemic, 'di ba? And sinabi 'yun, and Mark Zuckerberg apologized for it. Hindi na natin ipo-pull up kasi natamad ako. Pero hanapin niyo 'yun. Meron siyang mga meron siyang mga sinabi na sana hindi ko ginawa. Kung ngayon lang nangyari 'yon, he would do different. Okay? So, yan. So, itong si Elon Musk, people are saying that he has saved free speech. Ang problema kasi, free speech is a debate. Okay? Free speech is, kumbaga, may contention ang mga tao kung ano talaga ang free speech. Are you a free speech absolutist, or are you somebody that would like to suppress speech that doesn't agree to your ideas, 'di ba? And everything that says otherwise from what you believe are hate speech, misinformation, etc., etc. Okay? So yun yung ang problema, who will be in charge to tell everyone which is true, what is the truth, 'di ba? Which is actually yun ang kabaliktaran ng nung free speech. Kasi nobody should be able to tell you or decide what is the truth, especially on subject matters that are subjective to a lot of things like your moral values, your lived experience, etc., etc. Okay? So to depende kung ano ang tingin mo sa free speech. doon nakadepende on how you would view Elon Musk's stand. Kasi madaming galit sa kanya. Especially doon sa yung mga leftists. Galit talaga sila kay Elon Musk. Kasi kinuha niya yung Twitter eh. And it doesn't help that Elon Musk is considered to be the richest guy in the world. Kumbaga parang epitome of capitalism si Elon Musk eh. But that is a different debate. Okay, tuloy natin.
Don't elect Trump. I think we will lose. We will lose democracy in this country. We will lose the two-party system.
Yun. Kasi yung mga woke shit talagang maganda kasi balikan na lang natin yung kay Elon Musk eh. Yung timeline nun. Although na pag-usapan ko na rin man yun before. And yung two-party system na sinasabi niya. Okay, tuloy mo na lang Elon Musk.
And let me explain why. So there's only like six or seven swing states. The margin of victory in those states is small, often like 10 or 20,000 votes. What the Democrat administration has been doing is importing vast numbers of illegals into swing states. You can look at the numbers on the actual government website, meaning you don't take my word for it. You'll just look at the numbers as reported by the government, which is
Yon. So yung swing states, doon yung mga undecided eh. Doon yung, kasi may mga, like I explained before, may mga states na maka-Democrat, may mga states na maka-Republican. Okay, so yung mga swing states, yun yung mga medya-medya. Minsan Republican sila, minsan Democrat sila. Yun ang nananalo. Hindi predictable. Kumbaga, kung anong iboboto nila kasi meron silang electoral college na tinatawag. Okay? And yung mga Democrats kaya importante itong illegal immigration issue na ito. Okay, yung mga Democrats kasi papasok ng mga illegal immigrants, ng mga immigrants. So, hindi na nila kinu-question. Ang estimate at least nasa 10 million illegal immigrants na yung nakapasok sa Amerika. 10 million in the last 4 years sa Biden administration, I think. Hindi pa kasama doon yung mga tumawid lang ng bakod. 'Di ba? Yun yung mga dumaan dun sa gate na illegal o kaya yun yung mga nahuli. 'Di ba? So yung mga hindi nahuli, yung mga dumaan dun sa tunnel, may mga tunnel kasi sila diyan sa sa border eh, merong mga tumatawid ng bakod, 'di ba? Yung mga yon, madami doon hindi pa nahuhuli, hindi nila alam kung ilan. So it could be double or 15 to it could be instead of 10 million baka 15 or 20 million pa yan. Depende kung ano. I don't know. Hindi na natin alam eh kung ano yung mga gotaways na tinatawag, mga totga. So, etong mga illegal immigrants na to, ang ginagawa ng mga Democrats, they cuddle them. They treat them as asylum seekers. Di ba pwede ba yun na asylum seeker lahat yung 10 million? Di ba? Saan nakakita 10 million na asylum seekers. So ang ginagawa ng mga Democrats, binibigyan nila ng mga handouts, binibigyan nila, pinapatira nila sa mga hotel, di ba? Binibigyan nila ng cellphone. Isipin mo yun, pupunta ka sa Amerika illegally, bibigyan ka ng cellphone. Di ba? Bibigyan ka ng food stamps, libre pagkain mo, nakatira ka sa hotel, 'di ba? Tapos nagrereklamo pa sila. Tapos makikita mo okay lang sana kung kaya talaga nung Amerika eh. Kaso makikita mo sa labas merong mga homeless people, 'di ba? Tapos hindi sila inaasikaso. 'Di ba parang okay lang gawin mo 'yan. Kaso yung homeless mo muna, asikasuhin mo muna yon. Make sure walang kahit isang homeless sa Amerika bago mo gawin yon. Make sure na lahat ng tao sa Amerika may bahay o kaya hindi sila naghihirap bago mo gawin sa ibang tao, 'di ba? Especially to an illegal immigrant. And especially may mga illegal immigrant na salbahe, ng mga gang members na sinasabi. Yung mga MS-13, Tren de Aragua, galing sa Venezuela, kasi kung saan galing yan eh. So problema yon. May mga na-rape, may mga pinatay dahil doon sa mga illegal immigrants. So isang problema pa lang yon, ha. Pero ito yung mas malaking problema na nakikita ni Elon Musk.
Controlled by the Democrats. And what we're seeing is triple-digit increases in the number of illegals in every swing state. In some cases, 700% increases.
700%.
These are gigantic numbers. So if you have a state that has a 10 or 20,000 vote margin, and you put 200,000 illegals into that state, you 10x you swamp the. It's not a swing state anymore. It's going to vote blue.
Yon. So, ang ginagawa nila, dahil binibigyan nila ng handouts yung mga illegal immigrants, dadalhin nila yun mga yon sa mga swing states. Like Pennsylvania, like Michigan, di ba? Mga swing states yan eh. So, pag pinuno mo ng mga illegal immigrants yan na nakaasa sa mga Democrat handouts, sino sa tingin mo iboboto nila? Di ba? So those swing states will turn blue. Magiging Democrat voting states 'yon. And if that happens, then wala nang silbi yung electoral college nila. 'Di ba? Kasi ano na eh, almost predetermined na yung mga votes nila. 'Di ba? So kahit may ilang red states pa diyan, ang mangyayari, outnumbered na sila ng mga blue states na sigurado na boboto sa Democrats. Okay? So pag nangyari yun, then wala, moro na lang yung election nila. 'Di ba? And that for me, cheating yun. Kasi unang-una, 'di ba, sana kung naturally people leaned yung mga citizens, 'di ba? Leaned Democrat naturally na nakita nila yung policies, okay, ganyan. Kaso hindi eh. Mag-aangkat ka, basically nag-aangkat sila ng voters. And they do everything to make voting easy in a way na pwede ka nang mandaya. Kita mo, hindi ka pwedeng hindi ka hihinga ng ID, mga ganun. Tuloy natin to.
And then once the swing
Babanggitin
states
yata
vote
nila
blue, there is no election anymore.
Ayun.
There's only a Democrat primary.
Which is so crazy. And it's so crazy that people are fine with that.
Well, I guess people on the left will be fine with that because they think that's a good idea.
Well, they just want to win. They just want to win.
Correct. Like the thing is, one does not need actually any grand conspiracy theory for this. You just have to look at the simple matter of incentives. If the Democrat Party wants to basically achieve permanent victory, all they need to do is turn the swing states.
Yun,
Turn the swing
tama.
states blue. They have permanent victory. And then we're a one-party state, and then they will keep doing that. Obviously, they will keep stacking the deck by bringing in vast numbers of illegals into the swing states. Keep stacking it so that the next election, each successive election, will be worse than the last one. And that's what's happening. If you want to see, well, is this actually going to happen? Well, look at California.
Yan.
California is supermajority Dem, 70% Dem. A month ago,
Yun. So California is one of the blue states, 'di ba? So it's almost pointless. Actually, it is statistically pointless for Donald Trump to campaign in California because statistically speaking, he will never win in that state. Kumbaga kasi yung electoral college, may mga points yan kada state. Saka na natin pag-usapan yun, madederail tayo lalo. Okay, pero kumbaga mananalo ka sa iba't ibang states and then pagpa-plus-plusin yung mga points nila. Tapos kung alin yung kung sino yung unang maka 270, yun ang mananalo. Okay? And they do that para yung mga malalaking state katulad ng California, katulad ng New York, madaming tao doon eh. 'Di ba? Para yung mga state na katulad ng Maine, katulad ng Hawaii, katulad ng Ano pa ba? Basta yung mga nasa gitna kasi ang unti lang ng mga tao doon, 'di ba? Kung walang electoral college, laging mananalo yung California at New York. Kung ano yung iboto nun, yun na sigurado ang mananalo. Okay? So kasi madaming population sa kanila eh. Yun yung tinatawag na popular vote. Kung ano yung exact number ng mga botante. Yung electoral college vote, yun yung nanalo kung sino yung mga nanalo sa states. Okay? Yun ang pinakasimple. Syempre, pero mas elaborate pa doon ang explanation.
But they passed a law making it illegal to show ID in any
Yan,
election in California.
Illegal.
So a friend of mine went to vote in Palo Alto because he was like, "Is this for real?" He tried to show his ID, and they reacted like if you show a cross to a vampire. Okay, they're like, "No, we can't even look at that ID." It is illegal for them to even look at your ID if you want to present it in California
Why?
for any election at all, even like city council.
What logical reason other than to cheat would you ever
Yun.
have that law?
The reason is to cheat.
But the only
Obviously.
it's only like you can never make an argument.
Kung hindi mo kailangan ng ID, then kahit yung illegals pwedeng silang bumoto, 'di ba? They can just claim any identity and then vote. Okay, and also itong ang sinasabi nila, if you oppose that, sinasabi nila racist ka, 'di ba? Racist ka. Tulaan nyo kung bakit. Kasi daw yung mga black people at person of color, hirap daw silang makakuha ng ID kaya nila nilagay yun. 'Di ba? Which is anong mas racist? 'Di ba mas racist 'yun? Ano ba bobo yung mga black, bobo yung mga Latino, bobo yung mga Asians? 'Di ba? Hindi nila kayang kumuha ng ID when white people can? 'Di ba? So talagang talagang illogical 'yon. But like what they say, the only rational reason for them to do that is to cheat. If you can present something else, 'di ba? Be my guest. Comment it down.
Any other way? And I think
Yeah.
84% of people polled believe that you should show ID to vote. So it's against the will of the people.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yun. Anyway, they mentioned about California. So what's what's wrong with California? 'Di ba? What's wrong with these Democrat cities? Ang problema is the woke policies that they enforced in California. Sa California, isipin mo lang, use your Filipino sensibilities on this law. Sa California, pag nag-shoplift ka ng less than ng not more than $900. Magkano yun? Nasa 40K yun. For almost 50K na ngayon yun. 'Di ba? Let's say 45,000. 45,000 pesos. Nag-shoplift ka ng 45,000 pesos worth of an item. Hindi ka pwedeng hulihin sa paglabas. Kumbaga, pwede kang you can just, hindi mo kailangang itago yung yung item na kinuha mo. Ganon. That is, di ba, napaka-outrageous? I would even need to look for proof para lang masabi na teka, California. Kaya ang daming looters sa kanila. Tingin mo ba po pwede dito 'yon? For shoplifting law. Ito, viral sign
A sign
mocking
that went viral on social media for mocking California's retail theft problem has been
Diba?
removed from downtown San Francisco.
notice, stolen goods must remain under 950. 950 pa pala. So almost 50K. 'Di ba? stolen goods must remain under 950.
The sign, written in official-looking font, read, quote, "Notice, stolen goods must remain under $950. The sign is a reference to Prop 47, which made retail theft under $950 a misdemeanor instead of a felony. The
Oh, misdemeanor lang siya. Hindi siya, well, huliin ka rin siguro, pero on a lot of things, ano siya, pinapabayaan na lang. Meron nga akong ano, meron, di ko na lang sasabihin kung sino. Meron akong kakilala na nagtrabaho sa ano sa taga San Diego ata. Ano siya? Nag-visit yung isa ko pang kakilala doon sa kanila. Tapos meron siyang nalimutan, meron siyang kailangang bilhin na ewan ko, parang kulang na ata ang pera niya or something, ganyan. And sabi niya, punta ka na lang diyan sa sa Target, damputin mo na lang, 'di ba? Hindi ka uhulihin, tapos aalis ka, 'di ba? Ganon. Pwede ba dito 'yon? Pwede ba dito 'yon? So so isipin mo na lang kung ganon ang mangyayari, and bakit nila ginawa 'yon? Bakit nila ginawa 'yon? Ang rationale kung bakit nila ginawa tong kumbaga parang kailangan mo pa ba ng batas? Kumbaga almost wala ng batas 'di ba? Basically you've legalized stealing. So ang gagawin nila, kaya nila ginawa 'yon kasi nakita nila na madaming people of color na nakakulong. 'Di ba? Ganon. So sinasabi na racist 'yan, racist. Kasi ang daming nakakulong na black people 'di ba? Racist kayo. So ang ginawa nila, yung mga krimen na nagiging dahilan kung bakit nakukulong yung mga tao, de-criminalize nila. 'Di ba? So yun ang yun ang dahilan. So nabawasan yung mga kriminal, pero nabawasan yung nakakulong, pero yung krimen hindi nabawasan. Yun. Okay, so ano pa ba? Tapusin natin to kay Joe Rogan. Ano pang sinabi niya?
We are extremely rare. We're an outlier in not requiring ID. Basically, almost every country on earth requires ID to vote. So as soon as you ban ID for voting, it makes fraud impossible to prove. Because how do you trace the fraud?
Right. Yeah, it's insane.
Yun. Anyway, ito may sinasabi si The Counterpoints PH. Kilala kitang hayop ka. Buhay ko pa pala, may counterpoints ka pa. Okay. Anyway, that's okay. That's okay. May counterpoint. But still, having voter IDs is common sense. 'Di ba? Common sense, kailangan 'yan.